The star of the day was Jared Wiley, and Wiley has been the star for quite some time in our estimations. We talked about him in that opening week contest against Colorado.
Jared Wiley is pretty good. He can block. You saw today the one-hand catch in the end zone. Extension of capability. Last year we showed him they like to use him on some boots, getting him out into the flats because he's got some run to the catch. And why not? He's a really, when you compare him to a guy who I watched last night, Brevis Spanford at Minnesota, they're very similar, both similar in size. I think Wiley has a little bit more juice though in terms of getting off the ball. They move both of them around, and I think maybe you could say that Spanford's a little bigger, but Wiley's a former high school quarterback. You know, he's a baseball player. He played all these different sports, wide receiver. I mean, he did a little bit of everything in high school. And you can kind of see that when you watch him play. Wiley's a guy that has extreme movement capability. And when you get that capability one-on-one, today they kind of use him in a motion to kind of create the one-on-one matchup down in the red zone. I thought that was one of Forrest's better throws. And that catch by Wiley says it all.
His senior day, and Wiley, who has a very good chance to get drafted, he had a tremendous performance. How tremendous? What about if this meets or satisfies you? 7 targets, 7 catches, 178 yards for Wiley, 2 touchdowns, and on one, the 81-yard touchdown, busted coverage from Baylor. He's open down the seam. Nobody rotates back to the deep middle third, and then he ends up showing that burst and pretty good long speed. Remember, we talked about it earlier this season. Multi-sport athlete in high school. He did a little bit of everything. Baseball, did it all. And when you saw him today, just how smooth he is, even later on, they end up, I think he does a good job on a high screen later in the game. He ends up catching it, and then he shows the ankle flexibility to make a quick cut and allows him to leap into the end zone. Wiley smooth all afternoon, found the soft spots in zone. When he went over the middle of the field, extended away from his body to catch. What impresses me the most about Wiley, however, is the fact that you go back to even last year's game, he wasn't involved in the passing game much in that game. He showed up huge on a dig route and on a third down dig route late in this Baylor game a year ago. He's got tremendous size. 6'6", 250 plus pounds with range as a pass catcher. We talked about that earlier this year when they played against Colorado, him being able to catch the football away from his frame, but he's just good enough as a blocker.
21-yard reception.